Morning all, it's a beautiful Saturday morning. We've got to make the most of this sunshine. I've not seen it for a long time. Top up the vitamin D. Hope everybody else is well. Today on the Saturday shout out, we've got one of our new brands for 2026 that we're going to look at. We have Coros. Coros has been around for a number of years. They specialize in GPS sports watches. They also do some cycling gear as well. They do a nice head unit with cadence sensors, speed sensors, heart rate monitors, etc. But it's the watches that we're particularly interested in as the shop evolves to not only a great cycling shop but also triathlon as well, and Coros fits into that category very nicely. We're going to look at the Pace 4, the brand new watch that launches before Christmas. I've been wearing one for the last couple of weeks. Really impressed. I've got a couple of Garmin watches, and I've been wearing the Pace 4 for a couple of weeks, and I'm super impressed with that. We're also going to look at the Nomad and the Apex 4, three of their kind of most popular GPS watches. It's a much simpler range than the likes of Garmin, I guess, but which is no bad thing. So we're going to look at Coros. We're going to look next week at Scarpa. We've got a demo unit coming from Scarpa. This is the brand that we went down to Red Bull to have a look at a couple of weeks ago, so more details about that. Our Orca gear is starting to arrive, so another new brand for 2026 and another triathlon brand, Orca, so all your swimwear needs, whether it's, and a lot of the stock actually has already arrived, but we'll wait until we get a little bit more. But we've got goggles, we've got fins, we've got swim caps, we've got floats, etc. But we've got a little bit more to arrive. Obviously, from a Cycling 2000 point of view, Dave, Sue, Fleur have probably got 80 odd triathlons under their belt over the last few years, so between them all they've got fantastic experience. If anybody wants advice, whether it's their first triathlon or their 40th, as in Dave's case, I'm a little way behind. I can retrieve a brick from the bottom of the pool in my pajamas, so I've got a little bit to catch up, but as I say, they are the experts, so come down and have a chat with them. In other news, maintenance evening went really well this week. Everybody really enjoyed it, learned a lot. It was a great evening. We've got another one next Thursday the 29th, so if you missed this week's, then please get yourself booked on to next Thursday. We've got a few places left. I'll put the link on the bottom of the post. As I say, back to Coros, fantastic brand, supported by some big names actually in the athletics world. You've got Ingebrigtsen, Jakob Ingebrigtsen, you've got Eilish McColgan, all supporting Coros. So yeah, as I say, I'm really impressed with it. So let's have a look why. So this is the Pace 4 that I've been using over the last few weeks since Christmas. This was launched just before Christmas. You can navigate either using the dial on the side of the watch, or they're all touchscreen as well, which works really well. The dial really does most things, but you've also got back buttons, etc., as you would expect. So from the watch face, you choose either, you can go to activities, or you can choose your dashboard, and within the dashboard you can customize that with exactly whatever information you need or would like to see on a daily basis: sleep, temperature, heart rate, most recent activities, phone notifications, or, as I say, you can go into an individual activity. And as I say, you can do this using the touchscreen, which works really well, or the dial on the side of the watch. So here you can just start an activity, and there are so many activity profiles already preset. There's pretty much everything that you would ever need. Battery life is incredible. As you can see here, it's got about 40% battery life. That's after 2 or 3 weeks of use, 3 or 4 pool sessions, and it started with about 70% battery life. So the battery is incredible on such a super light watch. This is the Nomad. The Nomad works in a very similar way. Again, either touchscreen or using the dial to navigate your way around the watch, whether it's your dashboard, whether you want to change your watch face, or whether you want to go into an individual activity. The Nomad has got a 46-inch screen, and the Apex, you get a choice. You can have a 42 or a 46. Here, as I say, there with the Nomad, there's a lot of additional activities, really around fishing, boating, climbing, very much more kind of an outdoor adventurer's watch, whereas the Pace 4 and the Apex is really a much simpler watch, more based around traditional sports, running, cycling, swimming, etc., but loads and loads of different activities. A little bit skeptical about that little dial on the side actually initially, but it works brilliantly well. It makes navigating around the watch super easy. Here, in any individual activity, you can decide exactly what number of screens you've got and also what data fields you have in each screen, much like you would do on a Garmin head unit, for example, or a Garmin watch, and they work again brilliantly. All these can be set up via the app, which we'll have a little look at in a second. Obviously, it links directly through to the Coros app and then onto any third-party app such as Strava. The other great thing about these watches is that within settings you can customize it to use it either on your right wrist or your left wrist. If you're a bit odd like me and have it on your right wrist, it's great to be able to switch that around, and then you can also choose whether you want the dial bottom left or top right. Really a fantastic feature. And then into the app. The app again is much similar to what you might have experienced with Garmin Connect, but it just feels better. It just feels more intuitive. This is the dashboard again, so you've got all the relevant information, the same information that you would see on the dashboard on your watch. And again, in each case, you can go into each one in more detail. You've got your most recent activities. So here you can see my 3 most recent activities, which all happen to be swim sessions. And again, you can go into those in much more detail. You've got a training plan library and you've got a workout library, loads of pre-installed training plans, as you can see here, for any activity, whether it be cycling, running, swimming, etc. And then you've also got your various workout options as well that again are all preset for whichever activity you want to use. So yeah, just works really, really well. You can go into the individual detail of your particular device, and you can add multiple devices, of course, hundreds of different watch faces to choose from, which you can also create a custom watch face as well from a photograph, for example. But again, every kind of watch face that you might ever want to use. The AMOLED screen on the Pace 4 also is super bright and is really lovely to use. And again, here's where you can customize all your individual activity profiles, whether you want to add multiple data pages to a profile or whether you want to add more data fields in each profile, which you may be used to from using a Garmin, etc. Maps are fantastic. You can create routes from the app. And obviously the watches with a slightly bigger screen give you slightly better route mapping, but even on the Pace 4 you've got great navigation. So fantastic watches, we really love them. That's the Coros Pace 4, Apex 4 and Nomad. So that's us. I hope you found that interesting. Definitely looking at some of this new gear that we're getting in, these new brands, is always super exciting. So if you want a bit more information, then by all means pop down. There's various blogs on the website as well about both Coros and Orca that you can have a read. And as I say, if you missed the maintenance evening, then get yourself booked on to Thursday. Have a great weekend, enjoy the sunshine while it's still out, and we'll see you next week. Cheers, bye.